So I'm just finishing off the review for the Point of View Wintab 800W, but this video really does apply to budget Windows 8 tablets. So you're going to see a lot of these in Q4 2014. Windows 8 tablets around the $99 to $130 mark, 80 euros to 120 euro mark in Europe, with maybe 1 gig of RAM, 16 gigs of storage, if you're lucky 32 gigs of storage, but really that 1 gig of RAM. This low-cost platform has gone out, reference design, the motherboard is a reference design, and that's gone out to a lot of Chinese manufacturers. That's being pumped out in volume now at low cost, and it's appearing under a lot of different brands. Point of View is not a brand you'll probably see in America. It's a Point of View we get in Europe. It's a brand we get in Europe, but you'll see this pop up in variants all over the place. I've got the full review up on Notebook Check, but just to quickly go over the device, you've got micro SD, you've got micro USB, you've got even a micro HDMI port on this, so that's kind of interesting. This one's running the Big Bucks Bunny video with no problems at all. Now, the thing is with these devices, if you go in and consider them to be a Windows PC, then you're going to have a problem, because 16 gigs of RAM gets chewed up extremely quickly, and in this case 24 to 48 hours after we'd unboxed and started testing the device, the disk was full and we couldn't go any further. Literally the device just bricked, so we had to do some deletions of files, find out where those files were, fully reset the device, and just take another approach to testing it. And in fact, what we've done at notebookcheck.net is I've taken the time to go through RT apps. And that's really what these devices are about. Windows RT mode, Windows Store apps. Stay in that mode and you'll probably have a reasonably nice experience actually. You've got everything there that you need. It's just a matter of getting used to Windows Store. If you're a desktop user, you might not have barrier-free experience with this. If you're a hobbyist, on the other hand, and you know how to remove recovery partition, you know how to manage disk space on a Windows 8 device or Windows 7 device, then you can use this for 1 or 2 apps, I would say. No big games at all, although the graphics performance, the CPU performance in this is no worse than the Windows 8 tablets of earlier this year that were running 2 gigs of RAM. But anyway, for the average user, I would say stick to RT and everything's pretty smooth. I was running Jetpack Joyride yesterday with no problems at all. Wordament was smooth enough to really go for it on. I'm a big Wordament fan. And video playback, 33 megabits per second of H.264 hardware decoded. So quite a nice experience. The browser, the Internet Explorer browser, is quite capable of good experience, and it's nice and smooth with touch, and it has some nice features for touch as well. So if you're thinking about a very low cost Windows 8 tablet, $99 is probably the price point you're going to see it at Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and going on to Christmas. Do remember, these aren't Windows PCs. You can't use them like Windows PCs. Not only is the user interface for the desktop very difficult on a tablet like it is on all of these Windows 8 tablets, but the disk space isn't there, the RAM isn't there to allow you a barrier-free experience. Install Chrome and use a native client application within a tab, for example, and Chrome will bloat up to over 1 gigabyte of storage in use. Windows updates, .NET installs. Even actually, you have to be careful, some WinRT apps, especially those games, the latest games, take up hundreds and hundreds of megabytes to install 4 or 5 of those, and again you'll be filling up the disk space on here and wanting to do a full reset. Now, a full reset is quite quick. It's about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes before the system resets itself. So it is possible to reset and kind of like start from afresh. If you're using a Microsoft account, which you will need to do if you want to install apps, then settings get restored as well, so that's quite nice. So all in all, be very careful. Build quality of these plastics are very cheap. I mean, it feels, you know, some of the text has rubbed off on this. In fact, in this model here we're reviewing, the rear camera doesn't work, the speaker is mono, the screen is IPS, but a little bit faded, contrast is not that brilliant. The plastic covering on the screen on this one is not scratch resistant. Now, if you can get additional plastic covers to replace this one and pull this one off, then that would be acceptable, but I haven't found a way. I haven't found a source of plastic covers for this screen, and I dare not take this one off just in case it really isn't just a plastic cover and that it actually contains like some touch layer or something. I don't think it does, but it's not scratch resistant. That's the main thing. HDMI out on this is quite nice, so you can use these as media players on a big screen. 1080p works fine, 33 megabits a second, as I say, of H.264 without any troubles here. Streaming radio, it's got connected standby, so you can play audio or radio and switch the device off and have that running for probably 15 to 20 hours on one battery. In general, browsing battery life is around 5 hours. Video battery life probably around that mark too, 5, maybe 6 hours of video streaming in Windows 8. So that's a really brief overview of the Point of View Wintab 800W, but really it highlights some of the issues of the low-cost budget Windows 8 tablets that are coming to the market in Q4 2014 with 1 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage. 1 gigs of RAM is as much of a problem as 16 gig storage, but 16 gig storage, when you hit the limit there, you get to a bigger problem than you do when you hit limit with a 1 gigabyte of RAM. When you hit limits with RAM utilization, performance drops slowly, and you get page files swapping in and out of disk, so performance really drops off. Switching between apps becomes very laborious. So 2 issues to watch out for. But if you're a hobbyist, I think there's some opportunities here to do some cool stuff. Maybe think of this as an Internet of Things device, or even just a radio player and browser and tweet show for your kitchen. At $99 it might be worth thinking about that. But in general, for the average user, stick to RT apps, stick to Windows Store, and you should be okay. You should get a reasonable experience out of that. So as I say, the full review is going up on netbookcheck.net. It's the Point of View Mobi Wintab 800W. It's 120 euros now in Europe. Thanks for watching. Next up, we've got, well, hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll be finishing the review on the Acer. This is the lowest cost laptop in the world right now. Well, let's say the lowest cost mainstream or currently available laptop. It's an 11.6 inch Chromebook, the Acer CB3111. It's $179 for an 11.6 inch laptop. That is really quite good value. Now this is really interesting. You know, this doesn't have the kind of limits that I've just been talking about with this device because it's not Windows. Chrome is very graceful in the way that it uses limited amounts of RAM and limited amounts of storage. So Acer CB3, really interesting Chromebook device. This is not just a browser. Can play back also 33 megabits per second of H.264 videos, either from online drive or from a local storage. Now, the other thing we've got here, and we're all about low cost right now, is the Acer E11. This is the low cost Windows tablet. I've already got a video up on this one. I've already got some comments up on UMC Portal about this one. And what I'm really doing over time is comparing these two. $179 at the moment, $200 at the moment. Both got the same platform and both very much the same sort of devices, but one running Windows, one running Chrome OS. And it's really interesting to see how you've got a difference in flexibility and capability, and yet the Chrome device retains a smooth user experience for the things that it can do much better than the Windows device, and yet the Windows device is more flexible. So again, sort of hobbyist adventurer's device here. You can really do some interesting stuff with this, and this more the sort of mainstream youth device and secondary device, round the house device, clean computing device, and in some respects very, very secure. Privacy is a question if you don't trust Google, but in my opinion one of the more private, more clean and more secure computing platforms there are around. Anyway, that's what we're testing at the moment. Complete mess here right now. I'm actually going to Ukraine next week, next Sunday I'll be flying off to Ukraine for 2 weeks to do training with journalists and bloggers out there. We're going to be looking at clean computing, private internet usage. We're going to be looking at high mobility blogging and media creation. So that's going to be a really exciting week out there with Deutsche Welle, project with them. So I'm looking forward to that. Stay tuned for, maybe a little a look at some of the devices I'm taking and how I'm going to try and do some really low cost, low power computing and media creation with things like the Nokia Lumia 830. What else have we got? Microsoft Bluetooth keyboard, maybe that Chromebook, maybe that low powered Windows laptop as well. So lots of exciting things happening. Black Friday, next Friday of course. Keep a lookout for offers. I'll see if I can find anything nice and put it up on the site, umcportal.com. And then after that, I have a week's holiday, so you won't see me maybe on video for a few weeks after I come back from, after I go to Ukraine. But hopefully get some videos out from there. That'd be interesting to show what's going on out there. One other thing I've got here, I just remembered, from my digital SSD, they have sent the BP5 bulletproof M2 SATA case. It's a plastic, very lightweight. Oh, you take the plastic off. M2 SATA casing with a built-in USB cable there. I've got a 250 gig SATA drive in there, and it's really super light. It comes with 4 different colored plastic or rubber cases, and it's quite a fun little product there. So I'll try and get a review of that up. I've already got reviews of another one of their products up, which I really like. It's this BP5 M2S SATA enclosure. It's metal. It's nice and tough and rugged. That's really nice as well. Okay, I can show you some more stuff here. Shoulder pod. Really enjoying the shoulder pod with the Lumia. If I can just get that in there. Shoulder pod is a really nice, again, aluminium, rugged, adjustable. It works with the iPhone 6 Plus as well, so if you're thinking about bigger phones, it works with that nice, stable camera holder. That's enough, isn't it? All right, thanks for watching. Point of View Mobi Wintab 800W review on notebookcheck.info. Go and check it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.